Let's jump right into this. We've all been sold a very specific story about human history, right? The narrative goes that we started out primitive and moved in this perfect, unbroken line straight toward the modern, technologically advanced era we live in today. But what if that story is just completely wrong? In this explainer, we're looking at 5 ancient inventions that totally break this timeline and suggest our ancestors were doing things we literally still struggle to understand.
Okay, let's dive into this. Does human progress really move in a straight line? What if ancient civilizations actually rose to these impossible heights of engineering and science and then just fell, taking all their profound secrets with them to the grave? Today, we are looking at hard evidence. We're talking about technologies that humble modern engineering, stuff we've lost, and honestly, stuff we desperately want back.
Look at this contrast. Modern concrete, the absolute backbone of our billion-dollar infrastructure, routinely cracks and crumbles in about 50 years. Yet Roman concrete has been sitting under the harsh, pounding ocean for 2 millennia, and it's actually getting stronger. I mean, how is that even possible? To understand the sheer scale of what we've lost, let's start our countdown.
Starting us off at number 1, the first ancient computer.
Let's see how this builds. Back in 1901, Greek divers pulled up this heavily corroded bronze device from the bottom of the Aegean Sea. Built around 100 BC, it used differential gearing. Now, officially, that's a technology that wasn't invented until the 1500s. It was so wildly complex that it took scientists over a century, literally until the year 2021, to finally decode how it worked.
The sheer capability of this machine is just staggering. We're talking about a device with over 30 perfectly interlocking, precise bronze gears. Think about it. Ancient Greeks, working strictly with primitive hand tools, built a mechanical computer that successfully predicted solar and lunar eclipses and flawlessly tracked planetary movements. It wasn't just a hunk of metal, it was an absolute masterpiece of calculation. It really makes you stop and wonder, right? If they had the sophisticated knowledge to build one of these, how many more are just sitting at the bottom of the Mediterranean right now? It's a fascinating, kind of terrifying thought to consider how much ancient genius might still be lost to the sea. That brings us perfectly to Section 2, Unmatched Material Science. Turns out, ancient civilizations mastered chemical engineering in ways we still struggle to match. Remember that Roman concrete? Well, when seawater hits modern concrete, it degrades the rebar inside and completely destroys the structure. But with Roman concrete, it's the exact opposite. Watch this. Step 1. Seawater hits the concrete. Step 2. A brilliant chemical reaction kicks off that grows rare, interlocking, reinforcing crystals. And Step 3, the structure actively gets stronger over time. The very ocean water that destroys our buildings is exactly what made Roman underwater structures indestructible. So, the crucial point here is this ultimate irony. Guys in sandals with hand mixers beat our modern billion-dollar infrastructure. We have studied Roman breakwaters for centuries. We've literally hit them with electron microscopes. And yet, as of 2023, modern science still cannot perfectly replicate their exact mixing technique. And the Romans weren't the only masters of materials. Imagine you're a crusader in the Middle Ages. You've got the finest, most rigid steel sword Europe can offer. But in battle, your blade meets an enemy's weapon, and your sword just shatters. The enemy's blade, which has this wavy pattern like frozen water, bends like a snake on impact and cuts straight through your armor. This was Damascus steel. It was a metallurgical impossibility, incredibly hard, yet terrifyingly flexible. And then, right around 1750, the technique to make it just vanished completely. Now, what's really interesting here is what happened when we finally analyzed original Damascus blades under electron microscopes in 2006. Scientists discovered carbon nanotubes. These are microscopic structural cylinders that we only just figured out how to create in high-tech, modern labs. Yet ancient smiths were inadvertently creating functional nanotechnology 1,200 years before we officially invented it. And because the original ore deposits might be exhausted, this incredible knowledge might truly be lost forever. Let's move along to Section 3, the precision of Giza. Leaving behind handheld weapons, let's look at an anomaly so massive it casts shadow over the entire desert. Just look at this table. The math here is staggering. The Great Pyramid consists of roughly 2.3 million stone blocks. Some of these stones weigh up to 80 tons. To complete this in the accepted 20-year construction timeframe,
Workers would have had to perfectly place one block every 3 to 5 minutes, nonstop, day and night. And they supposedly did this cutting granite with soft copper chisels. Chisels that are literally softer than the stone itself. It is sheer logistical madness.
But it's not just the size. It's the mind-blowing precision. The pyramid is aligned perfectly to true north. Honestly, better than most modern buildings achieve today. The three pyramids perfectly mimic the alignment of Orion's belt. The stone joints are fitted so tightly you literally cannot slide a knife blade between them. Oh, and without GPS, lasers, or modern HVAC systems, the inside maintains a constant 68 degrees Fahrenheit regardless of the scorching weather outside. So, the crucial point is the cost. $5 billion. Back in 1990, that was the estimated cost to even attempt building it today. But honestly, it's not just a matter of money. In the 1990s, a Japanese team backed by modern tools and a massive budget utterly failed to replicate even a scaled-down, much smaller version using ancient techniques. Pretty much every engineering firm today would tell you it just can't be done. Yet, there it stands.
Which brings us to Section 4, the Göbekli Tepe anomaly.
If the pyramids challenge our understanding, this site completely rewrites it. Check out this timeline. We usually think of Stonehenge around 3000 BC and the pyramids around 2500 BC as the dawn of massive human construction. But Göbekli Tepe in Turkey dates back to 9600 BC. That's 11,600 years ago. To put that into perspective, that is a staggering 6,000 years before agriculture was even invented.
We are told humans at this time were purely primitive hunter-gatherers, with no cities, no writing, no wheels. Yet, somehow, they organized thousands of coordinated workers to carve and arrange 20-ton stone pillars, 20 feet tall, in precise circles. And the layout even demonstrates advanced astronomical knowledge. This massive logistical undertaking happened millennia before complex, organized societies were supposed to exist at all. And here is the part that truly baffles archaeologists. 5%. We have only excavated 5% of this entire site. Whoever built Göbekli Tepe deliberately buried the entire complex under tons of earth and then just vanished. Ground-penetrating radar shows at least 20 more massive structures still underground, waiting in the dark. It just proves that human progress is absolutely not the straight line we thought it was. This leads us to our final section, the cycle of civilization. So, what do all these anomalies actually mean for the grand story of humanity? Consider these other rapid-fire examples of lost technology. You've got Greek fire, an incendiary weapon that literally burned on water. Flexible Roman glass that wouldn't shatter when dropped. The unmatched acoustic perfection of Stradivarius violins. The entirely rust-proof iron pillar of Delhi. Just think about how much immense human knowledge burned to the ground with the Library of Alexandria, how much was destroyed by invading armies, or simply swallowed by the jungle and the passage of time.
It brings us to a core truth we really have to face. Human civilization doesn't move in a straight line. It rises, falls, rises again. Knowledge is lost each time. Sure, we've got smartphones and rockets today, but we can't recreate their flexible blades or their self-healing concrete. The ancient masters weren't necessarily smarter than us, but they had incredible continuity. They had masters teaching apprentices generation after generation. Centuries spent perfecting a single, hyper-specific technique. Techniques that, well, we've now completely forgotten.
Which brings us to the final, fascinating question. What else haven't we found yet? What else is buried beneath the dense canopy of the Amazon, the sands of the Sahara, or the crushing depths of the ocean floor? Modern technology reveals new sites every single year, structures that basically shouldn't exist. The very next discovery could completely rewrite everything we know. I'd love to hear which of these technologies shocked you the most, and which one you'd want to recover today. If this explainer changed the way you see our history, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for our next deep dive on ancient medical technologies that shame modern medicine. Because the more we dig, the more we realize just how much we don't know.